Okay, good morning, everybody. It's February 19th, 2025. Another great day in Hawaii. Let's have a roll call and indicate if you're alone.
Recognizing that the chair, Commissioner Becker, myself, and Miles are in the public hearing room, starting with Vice Chair Tobias,
Here and alone.
Commissioner Hong,
Present and alone.
Commissioner Thielen,
Here and alone, but my rescue dog is here.
okay. I'm turning to staff, Jody,
Present and alone, thank you.
Benita,
Present and alone.
Barbara,
Present and alone.
E,
Present and alone.
Jared,
Present and alone.
Nancy,
Present and alone.
Jennifer,
Present and alone, thanks.
Patrick,
Present and alone.
and would any members of the public like to introduce themselves?
Okay, thank you. First order of business, consideration approval of the minutes for January 15th. Any corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as circulated.
I so move.
Moved by Commissioner Thielen. Would everybody speak up at once?
Second.
Who seconded? Seconded by Commissioner Hong. Discussion? Not roll call.
Starting with Vice Chair Tobias,
Aye.
Commissioner Hong,
Aye.
Commissioner Thielen,
Who? Me?
Commissioner Thielen, yes.
Yeah, okay. I.
Noting Commissioner Becker's excused, Chair.
I, no objections, motion's carried. Next order of business, director's report, education and training.
I think we have the executive session meeting minutes. Sure.
Where's this one?
This right here.
All right.
Just the executive.
Oh,
session.
that's right. We want to. Stand corrected. We need to approve the minutes of the January 15, 2025 Executive Committee, which we broke into in the last time. Any corrections to those minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the executive session meeting that was on January 15th, 2025.
I move.
Moved by Commissioner Thielen,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Tobias. Any discussion? Okay, if not, roll call.
Vice Chair Tobias,
Aye.
Commissioner Hong,
Aye.
Commissioner Thielen,
I.
today's Commissioner Becker is excused, Chair.
Chair votes aye, no objections, motion is carried. Thank you. Now to the director's report.
Sure, if I can turn over the education training report to Benita.
Good morning, commissioners. Just a brief update on the training programs. We conducted a custom training for State Health Planning and Development Agency a couple weeks ago. That went well. We also have a general live ethics training session coming up beginning of March. That's part of our regular scheduled training that we offer throughout the year. For lobbyist trainings, we're conducting our standard reviews to ensure that all registered lobbyists have completed their mandatory training requirements because session has started and it's a new biennium. So we will follow up with any individuals who have not yet already taken their training. And as I indicated last month, our priority this year for the education and training is to update all our existing training modules and materials to ensure that it's reflective of the current laws and engaging we're going to be focusing on the content and curriculum this year. So that's our priority for training. In terms of disclosures, lobbying bill reporting function is a new e-filing feature that will go live later this week, I believe. It applies to lobbying activities January 1 and on. It's a new requirement that was enacted, and for lobbyists and their client organizations, they've all been already reminded and provided with quick guides and explanations on how to enter that information onto their expenditure report. So the first report will cover January, February, and that's due March 31st. So once we receive that information, the public will have access to types of bills that individual lobbyists or organizations are lobbying on during that period of time.
So have we reached 90% yet?
I think we've exceeded generally the training goals that based on the data that we've collected so far. We'll continue to work with agencies and boards to ensure that they're keeping up with their requirements.
We're pretty close. I think the memory serves me correct. We're at 88%, right?
Yes, I believe. I don't have the specific number in front of me, but we were pretty high marks. Yeah, but we'll continue to follow up with the various agencies and boards to just ensure that the numbers are continuing to be at high levels.
Well, before my tenure is up, hopefully we'll reach 90 at least. Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Yes.
Any questions?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Thielen.
Thank you. I'm waving my hand out here. I wanted to ask, in the early days when I was in the legislature, Hawaiian Electric claimed that their testifiers were not lobbyists. They said that they looked at the hearing notice as an invitation to come and testify. And I was wondering, are they recognizing now that they are lobbyists, and are they going through the ethics training?
As far as I recall, I do believe they're registered and that they have reported. So they do have in-house and I believe external lobbyists. I don't have their account information or looked them up recently, but I believe that they are registered because I can double check that.
Could you check on that and let us know next meeting? And I have the same question about Hawaiʻi Gas and the wind advocates, the wind lobbyists, I think solar were registered. I don't think that was ever an issue. But I know Hawaiian Electric really dug its heels in, but this was a number of years ago, and I'm hoping they lifted their heels and stepped in and registered. So yes, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are registered, but I'll confirm that.
Thank you very much. And gas company and wind and solar. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Chair.
Just as a reminder to anybody in the public who's listening in, all of the disclosures are public and available on our website, so anyone can look up registered lobbyists and find out who is registered and reported. And as a condition of the registration, you do have to participate in the training in order to register.
Okay. Questions from the board? The commission. How about from the public? Any questions or comments? Okay, moving right along. Guidance and assignment statistics.
If I can ask you to cover that one.
Yep, so this is me. Pretty normal January for us. 21 complaints received, 25 complaints closed. So continuing to close them out at a greater rate than we received them. And we are continuing to work on providing a more thorough statistical analysis for you folks in the future. So that is in the works as well.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the commissioners? How about from the public? Any questions or comments? Okay, item number 3, miscellaneous.
Thank you, Chair. Just two projects are underway. One in connection to the goals that we're going to discuss soon, we've been doing sort of a refresh of our logo, and not a drastic one, but one just trying to simplify, modernize a little bit. We've had a volunteer graphic designer help work on that, and something that we will be able to present next meeting. So again, nothing to discuss, just sort of informing that we will have guidelines or thing with the idea of trying to relaunch some of our online presence. And in addition, we're also looking at replacing some of the window fixtures, the blinds that we currently have, as one of the projects that we are looking at doing, sort of being one of the last renovation projects for the new office. That's all.
Any questions from the commissioners? How often, out of curiosity, how often can we change the pictures or the paintings in our office?
Every 5 years.
5 years, since we're stuck with it. That's all we had left. Somebody cockroached our pictures. Anyway, 5 years, we're gonna have the same pictures. All right. I'll be gone by then. Any questions or comments from the first, any questions from the commissioners? Any questions or comments from the public? Okay, next on the agenda, Ethics Commission goals. Who's gonna handle it? You are?
Yes, Chair. If you remember last year, we started trying to solidify goals for 2024. These are proposed by the staff, and the idea is that we want the commissioners to see it, give input, give comments, and just to make sure that we're aligned directionally. It helps for us to be able to prioritize certain things. Again, all of this is sort of in conjunction with the normal responsibilities of handling disclosures, providing advice, doing enforcement. These are sort of additional projects. And so if you take a look at attachment 2, starting on page 21, public materials. The first proposed goal is to enhance our training programs, and there's sort of 3 directionalities with that. One is trying to enhance the current self-directed modules. The idea that we would sort of try to provide feedback to folks as they answer incorrectly in answers, and try to use a question a little bit more as teaching tools. So be looking at potentially new online training mechanisms, and sort of refreshing that tool, which again, the bulk of state employees go through. Trying to do some short videos that we can use to sort of put into the self-directed modules or use during the live trainings. And then finally, the idea is to try to create a communication mechanism. So once people have gone through a training or online, we can do things like 30 days after they've taken the training, do a refresher, a reminder, and sure try to touch base, and or even start looking at notifying people as their deadline comes up to take another training, that we can actually ping them and let them know that they're due to do another training. The second goal is revitalizing our communication initiatives, which is trying to relaunch the High Road newsletter in a more digital mechanism. Trying to make sure it's available online, both for state employees and for the public. And then trying to incorporate sort of key ethics updates, as well as like a question a month. So if we get some questions repeatedly any month, we can actually say, hey, this is a common question, let's answer it publicly so everyone can see that answer.
Do you want questions right after each segment, or you want to do the whole thing?
I'm happy to pause if folks want to.
Yeah, I got a question. Our High Road newsletter is very comprehensive. My question is, do we know about how many people read it? I mean, do we get when you click on, there's a feedback like 200 people read it?
We do not have that kind of feedback. We have so the way that the High Road was prepared previously is it was sort of a hard copy format put into PDF and then sent out. So we don't have any visibility of who reads it and looks at it. What we're proposing to do is put it more into an email format. And so those links, if people click on it, we would have visibility into who's clicking on it, who's looking at it more so, and trying to shorten it, make it a little bit shorter, faster. Again, long email newsletters tend to not be read. So try to be a little bit more, here's the key thing we're trying to get across, and leave it at that.
Well, is this distributed it to all of the, let's say all our employees, 60,000 plus?
I think the intent is to have people opt in. Currently, as they go through the training, they can opt in to receive this, but we will continue to send it to all departments and allow them to distribute it. I don't think we have tried to email every state employee about their somewhat of consent. We're having conversations with ETS right now about the ways we do that, and there are mechanisms. So we could theoretically email everyone if we needed to, but I think we want to reserve that for really unique circumstances.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that all of our employees are, get the word. And then, you have a lot in the newsletter, which is very beneficial for us, send them in regards to ethics. So at the same time, I don't think, if you're going to leave it up to them to get opt in. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not the first guy who's not going to pick that one up. It's going to be something that it's going to be there, and I'll look at it because it's sent to me. I don't know if it's one of the counties does this. It was this question of the month. I think one of the counties does it in, if my memory serves me correct, in their pay stub. In their pay stub that they send out, they put something that is related to ethics, like, did you know this is wrong or this is right or something like that. It's the same thing, like, question of the month, did you know that you can't do this, or do you know that you can't, etc. And I thought maybe that, it's a good ploy to say, if we want to emphasize something, you're gonna get a paycheck. So, take a look at it. I forgot which, it's one of the outer islands. Maybe you can double check on that. And that's a way of, getting the word out about ethics. I don't know how involved it is. It is a conduit,
But after that's said and
Any
done,
comments or?
yeah, I think after that's said and done, it's hard to know who's gonna get a physical paycheck anymore. There will be automatic deposits, and then you may land up getting information only to people who are less able to access it electronically. So I think we should just give, the group a chance to look at what they think would be a reasonable way. We don't want to solicit input or give input only to a select group.
Okay, good. Any other comments? Questions?
I was gonna say, I think that's right. I think most employees get direct deposit, and
Rather than the
ability to put a message on a pay stub isn't really there anymore.
Okay. I just dawned on me that one of the counties does it, just to get the word out. But your points are well taken. As a matter of fact, even I get my pay stub. Well, we get it direct deposit. Yeah, so you don't have any pay stubs. But anyway, I'll leave that up to you folks. I just thought I'd bring that up. Any other comments or questions?
No.
Thanks for the input. Anything from the public in regards to communication initiatives? Okay, next.
Next is one I think will just probably a continuing goal is to strengthen public outreach. And so, there is some overlap here, including revitalizing the high road and trying to make it more accessible. We've included a goal of trying to post a certain number of op-eds. And then one that I think sort of in line with our new case management system, we have the ability to develop better metrics on the advice and the lobbying, financial disclosures, et cetera, that we can sort of try to push out more. It'll take us approximately a year to get enough data in through the case management system to be able to then turn around and provide something. But the hope is we will start providing that soon, in our quarterly meetings sort of quarterly snapshots and then be able to provide that to sort of show what the Ethics Commission's doing with a bit more granularity than we currently do.
Any questions or comments from the commissioners? How about from the public? On this item? Next.
Sorry, so actually back to the communication part, do you folks give the departments anything when employees are onboarded? So usually employees get like a bunch of stuff from agencies that, information they think they need for their pension, health benefits, deferred compensation, all that kind of stuff. So
Did everybody hear that question? Just do
I mean, it just might be a good opportunity to introduce them to their requirements to be ethical as an employee.
It's a great question, and I suspect the answer is yes, because we have a lot of dated material. I know, for example, when the last governor's term, we did a lot of offboarding training, like what are the post-retirement employment restrictions, et cetera. And so there's a lot of information that's already there, but it's probably worth looking at just to make sure it's still current. In addition, any new employees notified that they have to take the state ethics training.
Okay.
And so that's a part now of DHERDS. So anyone who's under the executive branch for DHERD automatically is put into that. The university has their training and DOE has their online training mechanism that we're a part of.
Okay, forgot about that.
So you're talking about post-retirement?
No, just when people get hired, they're usually inundated with all kinds of pamphlets and stuff.
okay.
I'm just wondering if we had one in there, but
You can also do a post one too, what you can't do after you leave. Same thing, but I'll leave it up to you folks. Any comments on that? Any questions? Any follow-up in the commissioners? Public?
Next one's to keep working on our administrative rules. So just trying to make sure we're keeping that as a priority, that we're going to work through that. I don't know if we need to talk about it in depth. The last goal is to improve accessibility and transparency, which is just looking at updating our commission's website. Again, some overlap with the external communications, with some of the logo and branding. So for example, every agency in the executive side is now required to have their name in Hawaiian. We've now gotten our name translated into Hawaiian and have that available. That'll be part of our, we've actually done some updating already, but maybe is that something we use consistently, just to make sure that we're ahead of any future requirement for us as a legislative agency. Looking at trying to introduce an interactive frequently asked questions section into our website. And then probably one of the most important ones is trying to make our forms more interactive. This is specifically in relationship to people filing complaints. The idea is trying to, right away, if alleging a complaint has their jurisdiction, trying to at that time redirect them appropriately, and try to, give them a quicker response if you're complaining about an HOA, for example. Here are some commonly called phone numbers and things that might help us do better we would be able to do, for example. So again, just trying to make sure our website's a bit more responsive and interactive for folks. That's it.
Have we had any feedback in regards to how responsive we are in regards to complaints? I haven't heard. I just wondering. I think it's probably key. You heard any people saying you're not responding to me quick enough, or I've been waiting for 2 years and I complained about this issue on ethics? We have any complaints like that?
So I can't really get into the specifics. I'm not aware of
Oh, I know that.
any complaints about non-responsiveness. I would say most of the time, our goal is to essentially email individuals indicating that their matter is closed pending them providing further information to us. So I would say in nearly every complaint we receive, we are notifying individuals that we have looked into the matter and that we are intending to close it unless they can provide additional information. The majority of responses we get that are unhappy are not due to a lack of response, but due to a disagreement as to why we are closing the matter. So I would say that's the majority of the time when we do get it's a disagreement. Like they would like us to continue pursuing the matter, but we believe that that's not appropriate.
Well, that's good to hear because, you hear comments from the public saying, our government works very slowly, in response. So we're not getting in those complaints. That's good to hear. Any follow-up questions? Any from the commissioners on anything's presented in regards to goals?
I think it
How
would
about
be
from the
nice.
public? Okay, I think we need a motion to approve the goals. Is that correct?
I appreciate it. I think again, it just tries to show that we're in line.
Sure. If there's no other discussion, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the goals as set forth by Robert,
So moved.
Second,
moved by Commissioner Hong.
second,
Thank you. Seconded by Commissioner Tobias. Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Vice Chair Tobias,
aye.
Commissioner Hong,
Aye.
Commissioner Thielen,
Aye.
Commissioner Becker,
Aye.
Chair.
Chair votes aye, no opposition, motion's carried. Thank you very much.
As
Good
a,
goals.
yeah, as a side though, I think that it would be nice to get a report if, and the next thing we'll be evaluating the director, and it would be nice to have an annual report on how we've done in accomplishing or not accomplishing these goals this next year.
I did. So Commissioner Hong was asking for an update of how we did on the goals. If you noticed in our 2024 annual report, we actually did have a specific section discussing goals and sort of our progress or steps in doing that. So yes, I think the intent is to build this into our annual report every year with sort of reflection on how we've done. And trying to be maybe a bit candid. Some of these goals we may not hit out the park. That is okay. It is a priority and we need to reassess what didn't we do well. Again, that is in our annual report.
Any other questions or comments from the commission? How about from the public? Okay, if not, moving on to item number 5, media reports.
So as just a reminder to the commission, this is a standing agenda item. Looking through sort of the media notes that I have, we have a January 19th Star Advertiser coverage of ethics package and ethics bills. We have 2 Civil Beat articles in January 26th and February 4th covering good government bills and ethics bills. We have a February 9th Civil Beat article talking about a report on lobbyists that was done approximately 10 years ago. And this article is sort of doing an update of what's improved, what's changed. And then finally, we have a blog post on February 16th by the Civil Beat entitled Blissful Ignorance of the New State Disclosure Law, noting that the Ethics Commission under Chair Fong sent a letter to all legislators indicating that we've done a spot check, found a few omissions in disclosures and asking all legislators to take a look at their financial disclosures and to do any amendments that are necessary by this Friday. And so there's a coverage of that letter by the Civil Beat.
Okay, any questions, any comments from the commissioners? How about from the public? Okay, if not, moving along, legislative matters.
Thank you, Chair. Give me just a quick second. Sure. Get over to that. So you have a list of bills on your agenda starting on page 4, which is categorized, and the blue link on the agenda is something that you can click upon and get directly to that bill. Just noting our budget, since this was posted, did pass the Ways and Means Committee, which essentially is probably the last major hurdle. So my expectations, it will be voted on and passed out. It does include an increase over what we requested of approximately 5%. That was done essentially for all legislative agencies. I have communicated our testimony that we would look at doing a salary comparison of employees, not including myself, just to make sure that we are in line. In particular, the county has done a fair number of employee increases in salary, just trying to make sure that our employees are fair and make sure we're trying to retain our great employees. That if we did not find that to be used, we would return the money as we have in the past consistently done. So again, we will have a little bit more than what we asked for. And I think that's sort of what I'm expressing the intent to use it for. I'll cover the other one just briefly and then pause if there's any questions. HB 1439 is typically how the legislature handles normal sort of annual increases salary, which usually puts us in line with whatever the bargain for increases for salaries, and that is being heard today.
I have one question. I mean, it's more of a curiosity, not that I'm pushing. Do any of the commissioners and any of the commissions get a stipend? The only reason I asked that question was I remember I was on the Honolulu Commission. They gave a stipend. I just wondered if if any commissions would give their commissioners a stipend. It's not a salary. It's more like whatever. It's called a stipend. It was very minimal.
There are some commissions that do pay their commissioners, and they are essentially treated as full-time employees, like the Public Utilities Commission, OHA trustees, et cetera, are essentially paid employees. I am not aware, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, of commissioners who just get a stipend for their engagement. I know it happens in other jurisdictions, as I know Chair, that other jurisdictions do pay some of their commissioners.
Yeah, I was just curious. Not that I'm pushing for it. I just was more curious. We're so overpaid anyway, so no problem. They're laughing, right? Remember, we doubled our salary. Remember that now, guys.
Just for the public, commissioners are not paid. So
all right.
Double of zero is zero.
Okay. Anyway, moving right along. Commission procedures.
So HB 411 did pass the House Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs Committee unamended. It has paused briefly, but the presumption is it's going to get voted out of the House and moved over to the Senate. The Senate has not heard the bill, and I presume it's because the House already heard it. It's moving it along. HB 412, as reported, was passed with amendments, and we have not yet seen what those amendments are. Again, these are all commission bills. HB 413 clarifies essentially who's going to have jurisdiction over contributions made by lobbyists during campaign season. It also passed. So essentially all our bills are moving through the legislature without any unexpected concerns or hurdles. Nepotism is a bill that we have not introduced, but it was heard by the Senate. It's SB 1545, which would repeal the language in the existing nepotism statute exempting the legislative branch. And that did pass the Senate, and it is moving over to the House.
Any questions, any comments on any of the bills? I'll just make one comment. I am pleasantly surprised, I'll use that word, that in regards to the Senate Bill 1545, there was no pushback in regards to exempting the legislators from the nepotism law. And I'm happy to see that the Senate did pass it and now goes to the House. And from what I understand, it will probably go through, which is great. But there was a push, there was the legislators wanted to be exempt, and my philosophy was what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If all the state employees are subject to nepotism, why not the legislators too? Since I understand they are government employees. But I guess that's a moot concern because it's going through, so. And we don't have to submit any testimony. I think they're doing it on their own, right?
We did submit testimony indicating that the commission's likely in support. So I think one ask would be if the commission would approve our continued support of that bill moving forward. It's not a part of our package, but just making sure the commission's online with us supporting it.
So they know where we stand. Okay, good. Any follow-up questions from the commissioners?
No.
How about from the public? Great. All right. Next is the evaluation of the Executive Director, Robert Harris. And normally, let's see what my does any member of the public wish to testify on this item before we discuss it? So we'll proceed with the evaluation. I'm trying to streamline this. The commission has completed its annual evaluation of our executive director's work performance as the commission's chief legal counsel and administrator. And in the interest of transparency, Executive Director Harris has asked the commission to discuss this agenda item during the public portion of today's meeting. Therefore, pursuant to Hawaii Revised Statute Section 92-5, subsection A, subsection 2, the commission will proceed with its discussion as requested by the Executive Director. I'm just going to summarize the evaluation, okay? And our Executive Director was evaluated in these categories: legal counsel to the commission, meetings and training, administration and enforcement of ethics and lobbying laws, education program, media, relationships, legislation, budget and physical operations, and administration and management. Being 10 as the highest score and 1 being lowest, the average for all of these categories came out to 9.33. Now, if our executive director was in my class at the university, 9.33 would come out to an A minus. But I don't give A minuses. I just say you're above 90 or 9, you're an A. So basically our executive director was rated with an A. And with that, any comments or questions from the, first of all, the commissioners? Anything you want to add? Anything from the public? Any questions or comments? Well,
from a practical,
would you like to say anything?
Practical
Yes.
standpoint, I think, you know, if the analysis is done to 2 digits, the end thing should, the summary should be 2 digits, not 9.3. But I think that everybody has been supportive of the accomplishments of the director.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Any other comments from any of the commissioners? I think yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just say like I've been here for like 3-4 months. All my interactions with Robert have been very good. I didn't give you on for me perfect 10s just because of the amount of time I've had to observe you, but I have no issues with your leadership here or anything like that. And to me, more important, or as importantly, the staff here seems very competent and productive. So I think we're doing a good job.
Any other commissioners? Any comments? All right. I think the evaluation speaks for itself of the job that Robert's doing, and I'm very pleased. I personally work hand in hand with Robert, so I'm happy that this is a good reflection on his competence and his dedication and what he's done for the commission. So congratulations, keep up the good work. And if not, you want to say anything?
If you don't mind,
Sure.
thank you for the positive comments, Chair and Commissioners. I sincerely appreciate the opportunity, honor to work for the Ethics Commission and recognize that most of the ratings really more are a reflection of the entire staff. And I really do think we have one of the best staffs in the state that, we really should be proud of. And so I am not necessarily taking the comments personally, but more thinking of how wonderful our office is in general. And so again, thank you for the opportunity to take the compliments, but again, I'm also redirecting and just pointing out we really have a very smooth, effective, functioning office. And it's my honor to be a part of it.
Thank you very much. And again, thank you to the staff. But being a military guy, it starts from the top. If you ain't got a good leader, you're not gonna have a good troops. So again, it's a reflection upon all of you. And we want to thank Robert and thank also the staff for the great job they're doing. And continue on, please. I was a little worried because I was gonna, I'm just glad, this is a personal note, that the Roberts no longer has a beard and a mustache, because that would have dropped my evaluation. I don't know why. It's never mind. That was a personal thing, but don't worry about it. It didn't affect my
daughters agree with you.
I know. Any other comments or any questions from the public? No? Okay, if not, congratulations, and let's move on. Let's see what else we have. Hold on, let's evaluation. Oh my gosh. Tell me. Item number 8, is that right? We're number 8, Akana.
There is no update from the Supreme Court.
Is there any? I keep been asking. Is there any feedback? Did they say why they're taking so long? It's been 2 years now. I forgot. It's been on appeal for 2 years. I don't know. I lost track.
I think it's been on cert for about a year.
A year. Oh my God. So they're still hanging there. Huh? Okay. Any questions on Akana from the commissioners? And how about from the public? As I said before, I hope this is resolved before my tenure ends. As I started my tenure here, this is my second term with this case. And out of the 50 years that we've been in existence, we've only had 3 cases, and this is one of them. The membership is correct. So we'll see what happens. I have nothing else. So if not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Tobias, seconded by
Second.
Commissioner Thielen. All right. Okay, roll call.
Starting with Vice Chair Tobias,
Aye.
Commissioner Hong,
Aye.
Commissioner Thielen,
Aye.
Commissioner Becker, Chair.
Chair votes aye. No objections. Time is 9:44. A motion to adjourn is carried.